But my belief is that these channels are just leeching content directly off of other people and turning it into their own.
Channels like Sniperwolf, Hassan Abi, and XQC Reacts fall within the U.S. copyright law's fair use exceptions. This attorney thinks they do. Find out why I think reaction channels generally do fall within fair use, and the type of content I think absolutely does not fall into fair use. How you can fix it if that's a way that you're doing your reaction or sharing other people's content. And there's a quiz at the end, and more. Watch this channel. Stay tuned. Hi, this is JJ Gat. So if you're new here, I cover the laws related to the content creator economy, including brand and management deal terms, Federal Trade Commission rules, requirements, disclosures, and various different laws as they impact fellow content creators. So if you're interested in that content, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. So this is a follow-up to a video I did talking about fair use to copyright. Essentially what you get when you produce any sort of content, whether it's a photo, whether it's a picture, whether it's a story that you tell, without even having to register at the U.S. Copyright Office, you get a certain set of rights, including the right to display it, to make money off of it, to license it, to distribute it, to stop other people from using it. However, the U.S. laws also allow people to use your content without your permission within certain exceptions. That's what's called fair use. They usually include stuff like scholarly research for newspapers to critique, commentary, satire. Now, that's an old law, and in this digital era, as you can imagine, in the era of twitching and streaming and YouTube, reaction channel is a big thing. Very, very popular. One of the most popular reaction channels is Sniperwolf. She had an infamous split with her ex. Her ex is actually suing her at this moment for money that they made together while they were building up her channel. And part of the lawsuit, he said, is that her channel and what she does on her channel does not fall within fair use. You might have heard the term freebooting, which is sort of like a pejorative term for what people do when they take other people's content and react to them. However, I think it's protected. And in fact, not only is it protected, the social media platforms actually have features embedded within each of them to allow people to react. So yes, you have people who independently do their own production outside of the apps for reactions, but the apps actually are conduits for reactions. So let's talk about the various different ways that you can react to other people's content on the app. We're going to cover Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, just show you briefly. And then I'm going to talk about of those various different ways that they allow you to react to other people's content, the way that fits most squarely within fair use, which is like, it's no doubt there's fair use. And then there's a way that's kind of like, no doubt, it's kind of like not really fair use, but so let's discuss. So this YouTube creator and Twitch streamer named Green Is Not Nick did a reaction video to what he called the lowest effort YouTube channel and taking down Sniperwood. But in his intro, he did a really excellent job of explaining why people really do not like this type of channel. So there are these channels
out there that just like sit there and watch something and then respond to it over and over again. And then they just give like a normal reaction while watching them. There's no commentary, there's no input, there's rarely a theme. The main point of these channels is just to have a producer feed them content for 10 minutes until they can upload it for AdSense and make a ton of money off of it. But my belief is that these channels are just leeching content directly off of other people and turning it into their own, and basically show other people's content with minimal commentary or dialogue from themselves about the content. And then they'll just make millions of dollars off of it. Definitely make more money off of one of these videos than probably all of the creators combined in the videos that they're actually reacting to.
Okay, sure, fair points. But despite what this YouTuber and others who hate Sniperwolf say about her content not falling within the fair use subsection to the copyright laws, it clearly does. And it's supported by the fact that many social media platforms have tools that enable creators and users to react to other creators' content. Let's discuss further. 3 ways that social media platforms enable you to fairly use other people's content. Let's discuss. A lot of the apps, Instagram, for example, allows a sort of stitching sort of situation, TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts. Essentially is when you're taking up to 15 seconds of someone else's content and immediately afterwards is your reactions. Sometimes people do their reactions first and they say, watch this, here's my reaction, this is what I think about it, here's what I'm talking about. Now, that's squarely within the fair use because it's critique, it's commentary, and without it, it leaves the user kind of baffled. Recently, I followed a financial channel called The Financial Diet, and they did a shorts, and they were talking about something that they saw on TikTok, but they didn't include it. So in the comment section, I was confused. looking to see if they had actually linked the video that they're referencing, but they didn't. And me and other people in the comments section were like, what's going on? What are you talking about? So that's why you actually absolutely need the content that someone else has owned, created, in order for you to critique or do commentary or give your opinion on it. And a popular case, a court says you need the clips in order to get the context. So that's definitely square one. Now, there's another way apps let you comment on other people's content, and that's usually by doing what TikTok calls a duet, a different name under Instagram, and it's also, you can do it recently under Shorts as well. So essentially, that's like a side-by-side or top and bottom, where the original content would play on one side and your reaction to it would play on the other side. Now, some people would say that that's not. I've done it, so I'm going to show you an example of me doing that here.
If you post frequently on Instagram, you're trying to be an influencer. If you stop posting, you're falling off. If your account is kept on private, you're trying to be mysterious. If you have a public account, you're seeking attention. If you post all types of content, you're cringe. If you only post one type of content, you're boring. If you talk about your business, you're salesy. If you never talk about your business, you're selling yourself short. At the end of the day, people will always have an opinion. Post your content.
And one of the comments I got under one of the times I've done it was like, that's not reaction. I'm going to pause here to share a Cornell article about fair use, which says that reaction includes the emotional response and facial expression. So yes, you don't have to speak in order to have a reaction channel and to be doing facial reactions are enough. Also, reaction channels is a niche. There's an audience for people who love to see other people's reactions. My husband is an avid fan of reaction channels. He loves when someone who's Gen Z or younger falls in love or hears for the first time music that he grew up with. He loves their reactions. So even the reaction doesn't include sound, because in YouTube Shorts, for example, now you can, well, I can have the feature, you can actually mute yourself. So it's just your facial features, and all of 100% of the sound and audio is coming from the original content. That is actually fair use. That is an actual critique. My features, responding to it, makes it a different piece of work. YouTube and other platforms also have the top bottom. So sometimes people would do a dance where the top would be the original music video and below would be someone's interpretation of the dance. That is absolutely a reaction, because it's not the same as the original content. It's transformative because you're showing a reaction. So that squarely falls within fair use, in my opinion. I think you'll be clear. And then there's the final way. I mentioned reaction channels, music videos. A lot of times people reacting to music videos. Or movies, or even soccer games. And they would play a bit and piece of it. Now, people who do those type of reaction channels do get in trouble, because a lot of times YouTube has a licensing sort of system where the owners of various different popular content, like the television, movie studios, and the recording studios, can upload their body in volumes of work, and it automatically detects when it's being used, and then it'll have a claim. So the folks, sometimes it'll block it. Sometimes the original creators will block the content. So there's a lot of work that has to be done for reaction channels to do that type of content, to get their videos gone through. But I believe most of them can or should be able to get over that hurdle. I think it falls squarely within the fair use exception. I'm going to pause here to say that reaction channels are different than the original content, and it requires a separate set of skills in order to get audiences to come and tune in each week. So they are a unique niche, including the type of content that Sniperwolf, XKCU, all these various different Twitch, gaming, television reaction channels do, no matter what, even if you don't think there's value to it. So for example, in Sniperwolf's ex's lawsuit against her, he says that she doesn't do anything to the content, and she's not really reacting, and she shouldn't fall within fair use, because, you know, and he said sometimes it's a little bunch of allegations, but it's not. Okay, his allegations don't make sense, because in one breath he's saying that she doesn't really do anything unique as a reaction channel, but then the second breath he's suing because he says he scripts, edits, creates original content, directs, and essentially goes against his own argument that there's nothing new. Clearly, there's something unique about the reaction channel that's more than just reacting. You actually have to do something. There's artistry, there's editing, there's something to it in order to get audiences to actually come back. It's not genuine. So long as people love to see her react and her response, it's actually fair use. Now, one way, and if you're the original copyright owner, you can push back and say, well, you stopped me from making money, because one of your rights as an original copyright owner is a right to make money. So for example, the people who take compilation channels, I think, do not fall within fair use, because essentially what they're taking is 100% of popular content that exists on TikTok, and they're just stringing them along. There's no reactions. They're not doing mostly anything to it, and they're just putting them together. Now, you may say, well, I want to see the best of this people doing this dance challenge. I don't want to scroll through TikToks or endless whatever shorts to find them. I just want to see the best of. So they do have a service. However, part of their service includes wholesale taking people's content and stream along. Now, and also sometimes if that's the first time you're seeing it, you don't necessarily need to go to their channel and watch it because you've already seen it in this compilation channel. This compilation channel, let's say it's monetized by YouTube, is making money off of someone's original content, and they're not making money off of it. You seeing it for the first time on their channel relieves you of the opportunity or reason to go try to find it on this person's channel. So they absolutely are taking money out of the pockets, especially a lot of times it's smaller channels. So there's actual court cases about this where the judges said that it's hard for the original content creator to prove that the reaction channel took money away from them, and they have to prove that. And that was actually a subject of a tweet recently, and someone responded to a tweet essentially saying the same thing that a judge is like, you can't prove that you would have gotten money that the reaction channel got or the views. It's kind of hard to prove. I still think it's shady and should be disallowed. Think about it. If someone were to take 4 hours of Netflix, you have to pay for Netflix, right? Even though people share codes, you have to pay for it, Netflix. So let's say someone takes 4 hours of sci-fi channels and they put it on, they create themselves a Netflix sci-fi channel on YouTube, and they have ads and they're putting 4 hours. So instead of people having to buy a Netflix subscription, they're going to your channel and they're watching all of these shows, and you're getting the money because it's you put together as your channel and you're getting money from that. So that's why you would see clearly that Netflix would have a case that was copyright infringement. So similar to the way Netflix would have a case, all those various different channels that or TikToks or creators that are part of compilation channels also have a similar claim. This when someone puts their content on the compilation channel. A lot of times people don't say anything. They might just want to be tagged, because once you're tagged, some of the people see the content that is funny, they like it, or they love the dance move, they'll go over to your channel and you'll follow. You can grow from being part of a compilation channel. Compilation channels absolutely take money from smaller channels, no doubt. And you can fight me on that. So how can you, if you do compilation channel or you like other people's content, do it the right way? So here's an example of someone doing the right way. There was a track and field athlete who posted on her a video of her preparing. Someone, the camera's watching her. She made this, really great run, long jumper. And in the video, she, makes this great, she jumps and her reaction and there's music to it is a great. So another channel, another account took the video, but what they did different was they lip read her. And so they added some sort of words and context to her lip reading. And they also added a different song. They added a motivational message. It was a whole totally different thing, a totally different vibe. Both of them were motivational, but what they did to it made it uniquely different. So even they were taking the source content. So I'm going to show you an example of that. And that's how you actually, that's the best way. You can do something like that with squarely ways you can take someone else's content, transform it, make it something different, and use it. And I think it's good and fair.
When the world's on fire, when the sun burns cold, we're building something unbreakable. From the highest highs to the lowest lows, we're building something unbreakable. Unbreakable, unbreakable. We're building something unbreakable. The world's on fire, when the sun burns cold.
Isn't it heartwarming and amazing? Let's recap. I feel like I should give you a quiz. What are two types of categories of usage of other people's content that clearly falls within the fair use? Stitches, that's right. Essentially, when a social media platform allows you to take 15, 20 seconds of another creator's content and then add your own critique or commentary or thoughts on the content, or as a green screen, however you want to do it. The second way is reaction channels, where you're taking perhaps an entire music video, maybe an entire scene from a movie, and you are reacting bit by bit, scene by scene, and adding your commentary and your viewpoints to each scene. Related to that is duets, collabs, remixes where you're side by side giving, even if it's just your facial expressions, if you're just like not really saying anything, that also falls within fair use, whether you like it or not. Now, what clearly falls out of fair use, that's right. Compilation channels would just wholesale take people's content. They don't add any commentary, any critique, no graphics. They're just taking it straight off of TikTok, stringing them together, throwing up YouTube, growing a large channel, and making money off of it that way. It's equivalent to taking an entire series of a television show off of Netflix and uploading onto YouTube. Now, here's the murky part. How about those reaction channels like the type that Sniperwolf, XQC, Hassan, all those other folks do? Like it or not, they also fall within the fair use exception. And the argument to say, well, they're not really adding anything to it, they're just content thief. If you look at the lawsuit that Sniperwolf's husband had against her, he essentially says that he was responsible for the editing, the production of ideas, putting it together, doing some graphics. So that tells you alone that even if they're just, if on screen she's just reacting, there's a lot that goes behind that too. And then also, not everyone can have a successful reaction channel. People come to see her specific reactions, the commentary that she gives, the things she says. My husband loves reaction channels, and each person has their own personality. They bring something new. So even though they're reacting to it, there's something about their reaction that's unique that makes it worth it. And that's why they grow an audience. And for that main reason, they do fall within the fair use exception because they're adding something to it, something so different that people want to watch them. And it's not like as if the people would want to watch the original content. They like seeing the reaction. So it falls within the fair use exception. So those are my thoughts. If you disagree, let's talk below. Again, if you're interested in similar type of content like this on this channel, I help fellow content creators decode the laws related to the creator economy, including Federal Trade Commission disclosures, libel, defamation, copyright. Interested in that, I want to invite you to subscribe. Tell your friends and family who are fellow content creators to join along. I'm growing this channel. This is like my 5th or 6th iteration or niche I've been on this channel. If you look, you'll see lots of other stuff. Anyway, so yeah, so if you like this stuff, join along. And if you want to see more, don't go anywhere. Watch this playlist here that's gonna scratch that itch.